Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's Saturday morning and it looks to be a beautiful start to the day. I'm on my way to work. I've got a full day's work ahead of me today, so I thought I'd just jump off the train and put together a vlog just to kick off this day and try and learn and pass on something new so that we can all try and incorporate it into our daily schedule and see if it could make our lives a little bit more interesting and better. I'm down here at the Harbour Masters steps, and there's a nice full tide, and you can probably hear the lapping of the water up against these steps, and it's a very calm and peaceful morning, and it's just beautiful getting out and about and being one with nature. I don't know about you, but coming down to the harbour's edge ever since I was a child was something that I really enjoyed, and it's always resonated with me and something that I absolutely cherish. The book summary that I'm going to go through today is entitled Our Wild Calling by an author known as Richard Louv. Richard Louv has put together a book on our wild calling and invites us to spend a little bit more time in nature, a little bit more time in the present, and a little bit more time being curious and spending some time becoming one with this creation, this wonderful creation that God has gifted us. So to start off the book summary, the author makes a profound statement, and it goes as follows. Poems are constructed not only with words, but also from the spaces between the words. Let me read that again, because it is pretty special, and it's something that if we sit and contemplate can be quite profound. Once again, he says that poems are constructed not only with words, but also from the spaces between the words. And the author draws a longer bow and suggests that this is true for our relationships with each other, and is also true for our connections with other animals, with God, and with plants and trees, and everything that we come into contact with on a daily basis and throughout our lives. So this book basically is a call to action to urge people like you and me to reconnect to nature, because there is a native inclination for all of us to gravitate towards our rawest and purest forms. We become grounded and more self-aware and more peaceful once we embrace, accept, and take a little bit more notice of the nature around us. So the first point that the author makes is that we basically need to become more curious and to notice the beauty of animals and to connect with them to improve our mood. I don't know about you, but I remember growing up, I always had animals in my life, not the people animals type, but the animals type, like a dog, cats, birds, such as canaries and budgerigars. We also had chickens. My Uncle Jimmy had chickens. He had bantam roosters and bantam hens. And we used to also go to the Easter show where we would see farm animals. But growing up, animals were very, very much a part of my parents' and grandparents' lives, given that they came from villages in Greece where they depended on animals. They depended on the donkeys, the goats, the sheep, the chickens, and all the other animals that they had, for their feed, and also to help them with their work and all the other things in their lives. They also depended on plant life. They depended on the crops, the grapes, the harvest, the tomatoes, you name it, the olive trees, for the olives and the olive oil. So there was always a oneness in my family background. So my ancestors fully understood the importance of not only connecting with each other, with family and other people in the village, other families and friends, they also understood the importance of being connected with God through community, through the church, through communion, through the sacraments of the church, and to respect those. But they also understood the importance of also connecting with the animal life and the plant life around them, and to take wonderment at nature and to take notice of the seasons, to enjoy the snowfall in winter, to enjoy the chamomile flowers and the beautiful flowers of spring, to enjoy the birds throughout the year, the swallows. I just noticed a couple of swallows flying around here, and I remember that in Greece, swallows are highly regarded and loved, and when they come in summer, it elates everybody's heart. So, just understanding one's past and knowing that with modernity, with urban living, we have been pushed further and further away from the things that we resonate with, and for that reason, and that reason only, we need to take more time and take more attention, spend more attention trying to focus on those things that take us back to our roots and make us feel great. And to also, as the author mentioned here before, to help improve our mood. The author also goes on to say that God's gift are animals to us. God's gift are plants and fish and all the other elements of creation to us. For he loved us so much that he created variability. God could have created everything the same. He could have created every animal the same, every tree the same. He could have created them all the same height, the same colour. He could have created them monochrome. He could have created them all the same, with the same leaves, to look exactly the same. But in his wisdom, in his pure love for mankind, he decided to create them all different and variable for our interest. For everything in the world is different from each other. But it's only when you understand that the things are different from each other, for each other, and it's that difference that enables the connection, and it enables purpose. It enables us to compare and contrast, and to see and to enjoy those differences, the differences in tastes, in sounds, in smells, in vision. It's the salt and pepper And as I said, it enables us to compare and contrast, to complement and supplement, and to take the strengths of others and to complement them with the strengths that we have. So it's important to understand that God gave animals and plants and all of creation to us, and we are called to name them. We are called to look after them. We are called to be their stewards, like Adam and Noah were called to be those roles. So the basic call to action, the basic thing that we need to try and deliver into our lives is to just get back to nature and focus on those things that you see, and not to be distracted, not to be led astray, to be thinking of other things and missing out on those beautiful elements that God has gifted us. What we are asked to do by this author is to explore their beauty where possible, to take notice, as we said, to explore their beauty and to watch their beautiful routines, because all animals, all people are habitual in nature. We do things, and we do things over and over again. They become habits, they become routines. But even though, all those routines are slightly different, they're mesmerizing to watch. They're just powerful to observe, to see birds that are nesting, for example, to see birds that are teaching their young or feeding their young, just watching chickens, just watching sheep, just watching the seagulls, watching fish in a fish tank. They all have their patterns, they all have their routines, but there is beauty in that routine and that constant cycle that they go through, just like the cycle of the seasons, just like all the variability has a pattern to it. And as humans, we are called to try and observe and to appreciate and to love those patterns and incorporate those patterns into our own patterns on a daily basis. Our codependence existed from the beginning of time. So we just need to understand and to appreciate and to embrace all of creation. Because at the end of the day, humans and animals resemble each other in many ways. Whilst animals, plants, fish and birds were created by God through His will, through the Word of God, God created Adam and Eve differently. He made Adam and He made Eve from Adam according to the scriptures. He gave man a rational soul through the breath of God, whilst animals do have a body and a soul. The difference between man and animal, or man and plant, is that the soul that the animal has is valid only for their lifetime, according to the scriptures and according to the church, from my understanding. And when the animal passes away, when the animal dies, when the plant dies, the soul ends right there. It's served its purpose. But the human soul is the thing that carries on for eternity. So we just need to understand that man has an intelligent soul, and that intelligent soul is to serve God, is to serve each other, is to serve creation, is to work in partnership with God to protect His creation. And that's why the Greek Orthodox Church sees one of the church's roles is to be the steward for creation, to love creation, to respect creation, and to do things in partnership with God to maintain creation and not to waste it or to destroy it. So as we said, humans and animals resemble each other in many ways, but sadly people have alienated themselves from animals over time, especially from the industrial age onwards. If we look back over time, we've gone through a few different stages of human societal development, commencing with the hunter-gatherer, where we were nomads, then moving to the agrarian stage, where we settled into towns, into villages, where we settled into family groups and clans and worked the land and tamed the animal life. And then we moved into the industrial age, where we become urbanites, where we built cities, where a lot of people left the land and came and started living in a city and created buildings and skyscrapers and schools and factories and all of those things. We had the industrial age, whereas now we're starting to move into yet another phase called the digital age, the information age, where people can connect even though they're geographically isolated, via the internet, via social media, and it's more about sharing ideas. So the world has changed, but with that change we have become more alienated from animals, we've become more alienated from ourselves, and sadly we've become more alienated from God as well. So that distraction, that alienation, that Satan is working his magic, his black magic, is causing grief in terms of depression, anxiety, and all the other issues that we see more prevalent today than of yesteryear. We're going to understand that animals are social. Dogs are social, just like us. They crave a sense of belonging, just like us, and they love community. Horses are similar. There are lots of examples of how animals and man can learn to coexist, or have learned to coexist together, and knowing that it brings happiness, fulfillment and grounding not only to the people but also to the animals. So the bottom line from all of this discussion is that we are called to protect the environment on the macro and the micro level. We need to indulge ourselves and to force ourselves and to encourage others to deliver small acts of kindness, to help protect the planet, to reduce waste, to recycle, and to nurture fauna. And there's a word here called solophilia, which is a concept surrounded by the theory that by helping the environment, we're also helping ourselves. And we've got a new style of philosophy that is emerging called eco-philosophy. And there's a fellow by the name of Glenn Albright, who is an eco-philosopher, who talks about these topics. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day there. So it wasn't a topic that I thought that I could talk for about 20 minutes on, but there you go, of being able to deliver a 20-minute vlog on the topic of eco-philosophy. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. We can see the sun starting to rise over there in the east between those buildings. It is a peaceful, a beautiful morning here in Sydney. Hardly anybody about. and no ships coming in or leaving today. I had a look at the schedule before for the International Passenger Terminal, and they said that there will be a ship coming in tomorrow morning. I'll be working tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be down here and I'll be able to capture that ship coming in to dock at 6 o'clock or 6:30, whenever it comes in, and hopefully I'll be able to pick it up on the tail end of my Jim's 5 a.m. club. Anyway, take care, wishing you all the best, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different place with a different message of empowerment, where we can pick up another book summary, another example of OPE, other people's experiences, and see whether or not we can take a few of those lessons and weave them in to our inventory of knowledge, skills that we've picked up over the years and throughout our lives, and hopefully use those new lessons to improve our day, to make us more productive, more caring, more loving, and of greater value to not only our families but to the wider community as well. Anyway, take care. I'm just about to go up and jump on a train and head to Green Square, and we'll chat again. Yassas, and bye for now.